In the meantime, Governor Scott Walker is here with us now. He was Republican governor of that state, Wisconsin, for 8 years, from 2011 to 2019. Governor, thank you for joining us. So you watch your state. First of all, do you agree with the verdict?
Absolutely. I said last year that this would be a case of self-defense, and if the verdict agreed with the law, then he would be found not guilty. Thankfully, the jury did agree with that. But, you know, this could have all been avoided if the current governor, a Democrat, Tony Evers, had called up the National Guard back in August, early on when the riots broke out. Instead of waiting until now, we would have never had this trial. We would have never had this violence. There's peace through strength. Instead, he, like so many other liberal politicians, chose woke weakness, and Kenosha suffered because of it.
Yeah, that very, very important point, Governor. And I remember police departments around the country standing down because they felt that their presence would be more of an agitation. And here we are a year later, looking back, in a lot of police jurisdictions, a lot of cities are saying, you know what, not defund the police, let's refund the police. If I may, though, if you have it, unbelievably, Gavin Newsom, governor of California, who has eyes on the prize, possible presidential aspirations, tweeted this just a couple of minutes after the verdict came down. He said, "America today, you can break the law, carry around weapons built for the military, shoot and kill people, get away with it. That's the message we've just sent to armed vigilantes across the nation." What's your response to Gavin Newsom?
Well, this is what happens with liberal politicians try to promote their woke weakness without actually looking at the facts. I was amazed, actually, someone pointed out to me early today, not many, but one of the commentators on CNN actually acknowledged that the trial opened their eyes to things that they weren't aware of. Many of the rest of us have been saying this now for over a year. You know, simple things like this young man didn't come from nowhere. His father actually lived in Kenosha. He was working in Kenosha. He had reason to be there. This was someone who was there for a variety of reasons. He had already been helping, assisting people before that. But probably most importantly, in this trial, in and of itself, people got to see that the star witness for the faulty prosecution said flat out that he didn't draw a gun until that guy drew a gun on him. And that's exactly what self-defense is all about. He wasn't looking for a fight. He was prepared because he knew, sadly, it was a riot. But that's why I think the jury ultimately understood. And remember, this jury was from Kenosha County. All of those people there can remember the riots last year. They knew what it was like when that failed prosecutor held up that firearm in a way that none of us who own guns would have ever done. When he held that up, I think it just reminded people that had they been faced with a similar circumstance, they might have taken the same action.
Governor, you spent a lot of time in Wisconsin. You're governor there for 8 years. I assume you lived there. Do you know any of these guys? Do you know Boehner, the prosecutor? Do you know Mike Richards, the defense attorneys? Do you know any of the actors that we've been watching for the last 3 weeks on TV?
Well, I didn't know the individual prosecutors. I know the district attorney. And remember, the DA there chose not to charge the police officer involved, because this all started with Jacob Blake, who, again, people like Newsom and other liberals rushed out to defend because of one video they saw when the Justice Department, led by a Democrat DA, Attorney General, when the Kenosha County District Attorney's Office, led by an elected Democrat, when they looked at the facts, they found out that police officer was not at fault. They reinstated him. The city, run by a mayor who's a Democrat, allowed them to come back in as well. Because if people saw the facts, they'd realize that Jacob Blake actually resisted arrest multiple times. Two officers used a taser gun on him. He had a knife that they found in the seat after the fact. And this is what all caused this. This is why I say if the National Guard had been brought in early on, there never would have been this problem. Yeah. But both cases, Jacob Blake and Kyle Rittenhouse, are examples of how liberals and the media, often indistinguishable, jump to conclusions and then they stick with it no matter what the facts show.
I got to go, but very quickly, if we had Governor Scott Walker in 2020, would the National Guard been called out that night?
Absolutely. I did it 2 years earlier in Milwaukee, and you never heard about it. Why? Because we didn't have the kind of chaos and tragedy that we saw in Kenosha. This was a failure of the left, and one more sad example from across the country. All
right, Governor Scott Walker, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.